To the LNC podcast, episode 104, I want to say, hopefully.
Real talk. Yes.
Real talk, yes. But, say we messed this up and have to upload something else first and it's out of order. I don't want to put that pressure on this, that undue pressure to come out on time. So we'll say tentatively episode 104.
It's after 100. You get it when you get it, and you're gonna be happy.
And you will be happy.
Eat your fucking food before you eat it, and you'll be. You know what I'm saying?
You'll eat it and you'll like it.
You're gonna eat it and you'll like it.
No substitutions, especially not for vegans. No vegan substitutions. I love that as a name for the episode.
No, I don't like that. It's got a ring
to it.
I don't like that at all.
Oh man, now we're back. I'm wearing the same shirt as the last one, but I threw on a little something on top because our guest here made me feel underdressed. And yes, we're recording these in the same day. Deal with it. You'll like it. No substitutions. Give it up for our guest. Joining us remotely, we have David Luna here. Mr. Luna.
Woo!
There he is.
Hello. Hey,
hello.
Good to see you guys.
Good to see you too. Happy you're here.
Applause and everything. Wow.
That's it. That's the extent of the sound. We have a duck sound as well, if you'd like to.
Yeah, I'm here.
If you'd like to hear that. Okay.
I'm here now. Oh, a duck. That's cool.
The best of what Discord has to offer by default, and no additional labor.
Ducks are great.
Yeah. What's quacking in your neck of the woods?
Have you ever had duck eggs?
Duck eggs? No.
Have you ever tasted? Yeah.
No, but I've sold them. We used to sell them at a Chinese grocery store. Yeah.
I thought that was.
Yeah, we're afraid.
Shit. Yeah.
This is going to be tough.
If you're afraid to taste the eggs, there might be, might reflect on you poorly if you're.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm never tasting the eggs. It's not gonna happen. Oh my gosh.
No, it's okay.
No, I've never. I might have, but, unbeknownst to me. No. I've been to some really great Chinese restaurants, so I'm sure they slipped something in there. A little secret. Who's to say if egg drop soup isn't part duck egg?
It's a duck egg. Oh shit, bruh. Fuck. Damn. You wouldn't know.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't know.
Yeah, basically, I'm just here to talk about duck eggs, probably for like next 35 minutes.
I sure hope so. Again, that's one of the 6 sounds we have at our disposal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have this.
Lord, please pray.
But no, I'm really doing good. Things are pretty nice.
Good, excellent.
Living in the same county that the president vacations in, and I think they got to keep it generally good around here because, otherwise, look at where he vacations and it all stinks. You know what I mean? So
I'm not gonna lie, it is hard to decipher what you're saying, so we might have to stop down and restart. No, it's fine. I should have caught this before.
It's okay.
It's just, are you using the AirPods as a mic?
Yeah.
Okay, I wonder maybe
is that bad?
I think so. Maybe just take them out. We might not even have to stop down. Just take the AirPods out.
Let's try that.
No. Just do the speaker. You can use your phone as a speaker. Say something. You sound so much clearer right now. It's crazy. Like whatever you just take.
Cool. I'm gonna try. Oh yeah, here we go. It's gonna be maybe clearer. Let me know if it is or isn't.
It is already.
Is it clearer? Is it clearer yet than it was just a moment ago?
Yes, it's about the same, but this is good. Either way, whatever you're doing now is perfect.
All right, cool.
Oh my word! Right. Excellent. We won't stop down. We won't restart. Yeah. I didn't want the whole episode to be wasted on
these AirPods.
Yeah, I had the same problem with my AirPods. For some reason, they don't work as well as a microphone, even with phone calls or FaceTime calls.
Do you know why? Do you know why?
Yeah, why is it?
It's
I don't know
because
why.
you fucking buy Apple products. That's why.
Well, he's using
Actually,
Apple
this is
headphones.
knockoffs.
Oh, really? Your AirPods are knockoffs?
Yeah, but they're like really, really good. They last a long time, and
Damn.
yeah, I love them. They're my favorite thing that I own or have ever owned.
Well, David, I wanted to convey this. We love you here.
It's up there, though, actually.
At our on our podcast, we have an affinity for you, similar to yours, with your knockoff headphones, because you are solely responsible for our rebrand, our redesign, the new logo, the artwork.
Solely.
Completely you. All
no,
you.
No, you know those 22 people from Bangladesh that are trapped in the...
Yeah.
Yeah, I was paying them to work on a good design.
Okay, so
I don't have to pay much.
He gave him 10 cents. He gave him 10 cents. They're fucking making this shit.
Oh my god, dude, it's horrible. Yeah.
Damn, that's actually clever. I never thought of that. Damn.
Well, to you and Rakesh and Sanjeet and all, all 20 of you who contributed to it, you did an outstanding job.
My brother,
Thank you. Thanks.
Just outstanding work.
Yeah, there's 5 of them.
See, he said 5. Holy shit. See, it seems fucked up because he looks Muslim, but it's actually fine. He did it to a completely different race, so that makes it perfectly okay. He's not oppressing his own people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's actually Mexican.
I wasn't going to make that connection, but I'm glad you did. For the rest
I didn't
of
want
us.
people to think, they'd be like, damn, he's supporting his own people. That's fucked up,
Do you get that a lot, David? Do you get that a lot?
I say often enough, yeah, especially when I have my glasses on.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I can see it now that you're on a webcam, not in person. I don't get it in person as much. But
what do people mistake you for?
Mexican, incidentally.
Okay.
That's what I get. Specifically Mexican.
What's your ethnic makeup? What's your background?
I'm black and white mixed.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I was gonna guess are you from Greece?
No.
Something like that. I have no idea. Yeah.
I am from the island known as the US of A, landlocked.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I was about to say you're from a peninsula, but I guess not really. Because you were born in Virginia, yeah? Or DC?
Yeah, we'll say that.
Yeah. But Auntie's from a peninsula.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
DC.
Yeah. I know Maryland is. I don't know about DC.
MD.
Awesome. Yeah. DC is almost not MD, even though it's in MD. I mean, it really isn't. It technically isn't at all, actually, legally.
Yeah, it's like its own shit.
Yeah, right.
That's what we try to tell people.
It has no representation in the Congress or in the Senate, just like Puerto Rico. That's why the license plates are that, taxation without representation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So. Yeah. The District of Columbia, it's like a fucking, what is this, like Hunger Games? You live in one of them, one of the Hunger Game districts. They're gonna roll out. And they're gonna be. It's okay because it's the top one. You're at the top one, so you're safe. But
there we go.
Yeah.
There's a certain level of prestige.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna run for mayor of DC, and we're gonna do a thing to make sure I get in.
Mm-hmm.
Do a thing.
Oh yeah, do a thing. What are you talking about? Now we can't. Now we're gonna be on.
We're gonna utilize our power, resources, and people we know, and we're gonna vote me as mayor of DC.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, I don't know, I'm gonna do something. So it'll be cool as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going
all you need is a handful of votes. That's
exactly. Literally, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like if one of us went to a really small town, let's say it's got 50 people, and we like fucking convinced 26 people to vote for one of us. There we go. Now we have the power of a small town.
And it's just a town of 50, so that's like no brainer. Right. Like that's gonna win you the seat. 26 out of 50.
Yep.
That's all you need.
Just all I need.
just over 24 people. 2 baker's dozens.
So you've been doing comedy how long, David? Let's start at the beginning.
At the beginning,
In the beginning.
Well, it depends how you define doing comedy.
Now, did you start with stand up? Did you start with like improv, theater?
It was stand up. Yeah, I was gonna do like a real like hipstery joke of like, oh well, I first started doing comedy when I made someone laugh as a baby or some shit like that, but that's not true. I remember
you never made anyone laugh as a baby.
I never made anyone as a baby. Okay. No, not intentionally.
Just make sure we're on the same page.
Well, you don't know if you like fell and
maybe I did
bust your face. If you fell and bust your face as a baby, I would have laughed at it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Did you ever like critically injure yourself as a baby?
Yeah,
and get it on camera.
On camera, no. But can you imagine if it was and you didn't remember, and then you watched America's Funniest Home Videos?
Yeah,
like reruns.
You can't imagine that.
You can't record that shit. That's the problem with the world now. Too much is on video. You're going to jail if your baby fucking gravely injures itself.
But no, because people would put that on national television and compete for a cash prize. Their babies. Yeah. Getting concussions, breaking limbs.
So when you say baby, what's the age range?
I guess walk. I guess learning to walk, I would say, just after that. It's the kind of toddler, pre-toddler.
As long as nothing's broken.
Mm-hmm. To be serious, I did answer. To be serious, I did answer your question, so let's move on. No.
Oh my God.
To bring it back, I first time I did stand up, I was like 18, I think, and it was in Winter Park, Orlando, Florida, at a place called Austin's Coffee, and they had a comedy open mic, and I remember ending up there because I wanted to go and do stand-up at an open mic, and I just Googled it, and what's the one that I should go to in the area. And from there, I continued for a year or so, maybe a little more than a year, and because I was living in Florida for that long, and then I moved back to Delaware, basically a college dropout, not really knowing what I was going to do at all, and just working, whatever, odd jobs, and Craigslist and stuff. And then I found this guy who had a cleaning business, and his son had a restaurant. So there's a summer where I was working as a busser and then working at the cleaning business. And my mom started working at the cleaning business and then started getting her own clients. And eventually we had our own cleaning business. And Delaware.
In Delaware.
Yeah. So I had to basically do stand-up in the clients' houses because I had no outlet. I had to perform for very confused elderly people who you should be cleaning my house. I didn't ever do that, but
you could have, though.
I could have.
You see how easily these people are scammed over the phone. Right. Imagine putting on a performance for them and then charging them after. You could have made a killing.
Exactly. I could have made a killing. Yeah, you're right.
Holy shit.
It's easily scammed. But
so you've lived in Delaware, or you were raised in Delaware, would you say? And then
no.
Okay, so
kind of not fully.
How'd you end up there?
Well, there's an egg that came out from outer space, and I came out and I said, Nanu. I'm so sorry.
I believe it.
Yeah.
You don't have to. The way I don't do improv myself, but I believe the thing to do is just yes, and I'm just going to go with whatever you give me, and we can take it.
Because I'm in this half world where I want to do joke, but I also want to tell you the truth.
Okay.
I want to make sure you know what's the truth.
Shall we split it up into segments then? We do. Let's go the length of a joke and then bring it back.
I'm about to start telling people.
Yeah.
I was like, David definitely came from a fucking egg in the sky, bro. He told me. He wouldn't lie, bro. He came
Lorenzo, I want to, in all seriousness, Lorenzo calls you David. Is that just a nickname, or is that how you actually pronounce it?
It's the correct way. You can pronounce it that way. Anyone who speaks Spanish likes to call me that. So it's fine. So that's what my mom called me, David. It's a correct.
But do you prefer to be referred to as David? Is that like...
No preference, David, David, whatever.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I want to make sure, because I know he has little cute nicknames for everybody. I want to make sure and I'm not just going with that if that's not what you want to be.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. That's good. Yeah, you can call me whatever. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Cool.
Yeah, no, I grew up.
You've never done Lorenzo's hair, have you? I just want to make sure.
Never done his hair. No.
Okay.
No, I don't know how. I've never done people's hair. I'm not sure if I would trust myself to.
What do you do with your hair?
I go to sleep. Sometimes it gets cut. Sometimes someone is lucky enough to I get paid them to cut it, or my partner is really lovely and she's very good at everything. She cuts my hair.
Yeah. Oh, you have a live-in hairdresser. That's fantastic.
I'm the live-in.
Oh,
that's what I need.
That's an even better grift. My.
So, shit. I would like to say that I was not raised in Delaware. Just let's get that out there. Delaware has some claim, if I ever, whatever. But I went to high school mostly in Delaware, and sophomore to graduation, and but the rest was in different parts of the United States. I grew up all over the place.
So you're always moving. Why? Military family? Other reasons?
Usually the first question, but just different random family reasons. Just I guess whatever Forrest Gump kind of reasons. No, he was in the military, so that's not a good example. But yeah, I was born in Maryland. My parents, they were Jehovah's Witnesses. My dad worked for a guy who owned a bunch of chicken farms. Had a brand called Eggland's Best for a while. His name's Jack DeCoster. But the Eggland's Best eggs. You ever heard of that?
I think I've heard of it.
No.
Okay, they're like low cholesterol eggs, and he doesn't own it anymore. He sold the brand.
I only eat duck eggs as of 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's really good. It's important that everybody does that eventually. Yeah, my family, they're from Mexico. My dad and my mom met in Texas when they were in their 20s, and I was born in Elkton, Maryland, which isn't far from Delaware. I know it's going to sound like, oh yeah, I grew up all over the United States. I live in Delaware, but I was actually born in Elkton, which is like literally the same fucking shit. And I did move before getting here. So I lived in, growing up, I lived in Connecticut, and different parts of Connecticut, Florida, Maine, and California, and Washington State. And I lived in Guadalajara and Jalisco, Mexico for the better part of a year when I was 11. But yeah, so I lived and then I ended up in Delaware when I was like 14, something like that.
Wow, yeah. So I mean, that's quite a breadth of different destinations. Yeah, I get being kind of clumped up in one area, bouncing around in then one concentrated area, but still, and being in another country, even for around a year, that's still something. I can't say I've lived in another country before. Of all the destinations you've lived, which are your favorites and why?
I guess I really like Guadalajara when I was that was just there's a lot of nostalgia behind that, and obviously the food was like super good and cheap and whatever. Like I don't know if I would ever want to live in Mexico. Perhaps maybe, but I'm not sure. As of right now, I'm not thinking about it. But and where else?
When you were living there, were you staying with other family, or did you just straight up move there and set up camp?
I was 11, so I was with my mom at the time and my sister, and when we first moved there, my sister and my mom was already there, and she was living with her aunt, so it was like my great aunt, and the upstairs, like the highest floor in the house, it's like this building that probably connected to another series of like levels that went up, or it might have been its own. I can't really remember. Really old, kind of old building, and we get up to the roof and stuff. But so we lived there for a while. We didn't even have there isn't like a proper shower. We bathed with warming.
You had to get the bucket and go
bucket of water. Yeah. Just a bucket. We had dial-up internet, which was like really the only thing at the time. It was 2001. But it was really slow because it was in Mexico. But still, for me, it was amazing. Like, I don't know, it was the first time I ever had internet, so it wasn't like slow for me. It was just what it was.
Shit.
And don't worry, I'm not going to talk about rotary phones and how kids don't know what they are these days. Because some kids do know what rotary phones are. It's not like, they don't know anything.
We just played Scribble.io in another Discord a minute ago, and somebody drew one of those actually. So I think it's the iconography is still there.
It's still there. Yeah. And then we moved to my mom rented out an apartment somewhere else not too far from there in the city, and it was really nice. I mean,
so what you remember about
we had a shower upgrade after
a shower upgrade. Excellent.
Yeah, we actually got an apartment with running water. I mean, it was always running water, but like an actual shower.
Well, what stands out to you that you enjoyed most was the food. Anything else, or any fun parties?
Yes, arcades galore. Like there, every corner there was some, even places that weren't like technically arcades. Like every laundry mat would have like not just like a Pac-Man or some dinky little kid game. Like I'm talking about Tekken. Like Metal Slug, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Dance Revolution. I didn't play that one, but all these games were like everywhere, and there were some places that got really kind of high tech with it, where you would go and you'd pay however much to play, you get however many credits to use in all the games. Yeah, like that. Exactly. Dude, you're bringing back memories. Oh, dude, I've probably been there. Holy crap. That's so funny. That's in Chile. No, I don't live in Chile. The shit looks just like that. It's just so fun.
It does look fun. It's like a whole game hall.
But you get sometimes in some places you'd either get a card, you'd slide it in and play the game, access it that way, or like a little USB kind of chip, and you'd plug that in.
I've never seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen the cards.
Oh yeah, it was like that. But most places you just put in some coin, like off the street, outside of a, between the restaurants or part of a laundromat, you just put in a coin. Anyway, those were my favorite. I loved Metal Slug and Marvel vs. Capcom. Those are my favorite. Okay.
Sorry.
And getting into UFOs and aliens and stuff like that when I was a kid. But like now as an adult, it's I don't have to investigate and I wonder if it's real because I know it is, and I sound like a crazy person.
Getting into UFOs, you said. Yeah. Oh, I see.
Sure, yeah.
You know it's real because you are one, obviously, and you crash landed here as a duck egg.
Right. Yeah, and I recovered all those memories, and it's all good.
Awesome.
Yeah, quack. I'm a quack. So,
You're a doctor? What the fuck?
I'm a quack. I'm not a doctor. No, what the hell?
I've never heard anyone outside the doctor called a quack. That might just be me.
That's just you. Yeah.
I see.
A quack means like a mental case, like
that
shit. Case.
Yeah.
Do they call other people quacks? I don't know.
A doctor may diagnose someone as a quack. That would be disrespectful, but
I'm gonna start calling other people quacks. I'm gonna start calling people quacks, bro. That's it. That's it. I'm on a rampage now. Everybody's a quack.
Everyone's a quack.
I'm having too much fun with these dumbass. We have two. I think Ben added these.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's
this one here.
That's why he's the GOAT.
I don't think I've ever played that. And then there was this one I played, I think.
Lord, please pray for the soul of this bitch.
Ooh, I like that one.
Those are good.
I played that one earlier. Oh shit, I like that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh man. David. Oh my gosh. So Sorry if this goes all over the place.
You're good. This is fine.
I ate a lot of food earlier. I'm a little, you know when you're like chilling after a big meal, you're just kind of like, hanging out.
That's
like
good. That's the best. That's it.
So you did comedy when you went to college in Florida. You went to school in Florida. Full Sail. Okay.
Animation.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. And so you experienced it there. How long did it take before you went back and tried it again in Delaware or Maryland?
I would say 2000 and fucking dude, I can't even remember. So probably first time I did comedy was 2010.
Okay.
And then maybe 2011 on the cusp of there. Mm-hmm. Then did it for about a year, like a little less than a year, and or a little more. I can't. Again, I'm not. It's a little fuzzy on the details.
It's okay.
Different clubs too, and I met a lot of interesting comics, a lot of whom I still like follow, and sometimes I'm in touch with. Through social media or just like, just personally. And I'll I can tell you about different comics that I've met at the end. But
I was going to say, I find this interesting. I haven't really been able to talk to anybody about it.
Okay, sure.
What? Sorry, I'm so.
No,
I'm out of it. I'm all over the place.
Good,
I was just going to ask, of the people that you've met through all this time, have you been surprised to see who's stuck with it, or who's kind of fallen off, or who's taking a big break?
Yeah.
Who are those types?
So the people who've stuck with it, I'm surprised, but they're like, they're doing what they're doing. But not that they're, anyone knows about their success or not.
They're still at it.
There's many people. I'm just gonna leave it at that. There's many people.
Wow.
And for a lot of them, for 99% of them, it's like I continue. I hope you continue. That you find success in it. And actually, that's really because it's really true for all of them. There's no one person that I don't wish this. There's nothing like that.
What happened, Lorenzo?
There's just some people who I'm like a little surprised that they've taken it as seriously, because I personally don't have, I don't vibe with their comedy. Let's just say, and that's personal taste. So that's why I discount myself. I'll be like, hey, I feel that way, maybe just taste wise or whatever. But like I do wish them all the success in the world. Just like
but you do have some people you root against. You're saying there are.
What I'm saying is I do voodoo kind of not voodoo-esque. Let's just call it.
Okay.
It's a healthy rival.
Guadalajara voodoo on those people.
Yeah. So that's one category. People who have fallen off. There's this guy I remember during, that the midst of COVID, like that year, somewhere in 2020. Let's say it might have been the summertime. Mm-hmm. This guy.
Summertime.
Another guy. I won't say his name.
We get into that. Your jazz.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. You know who wrote those lyrics? Probably Ira Gershwin, because those specific lyrics, because that was from Porgy and Bess. Summertime and the living is easy. And Ira Gershwin is the brother of George Gershwin, who is one of the greatest.
Yes, Rhapsody in Blue.
Yeah, exactly.
All that.
I have a very important question.
Sure.
So do your aunts take like voodoo requests? This is completely hypothetical.
I really don't do any of that, but
if I had a name, would they take payment?
Well, let's just say I've got a little purple book that it has a.
Oh no!
Yeah,
that is frightening. Put that away. Don't put that on screen again. If you could, refrain from putting it in the frame.
I know.
If I were to request a name in said book, you know what I'm saying? What do I got to do to, you know what I'm saying?
We'll talk off after the.
Yeah. We'll talk after.
That is spooky.
I got you.
How many comedians are in there?
No comics.
None that are living.
the comedians are siblings, you know. They're all
good.
We're all brothers and sisters.
Excellent.
In this church of laughter. I'm sorry.
Now we can just speed through the comedy, but I mean, it's all just it's not bullshit. But I do like to know, you know, how you started or like what your affinity with it is.
I wanted to answer your So there's like this guy who I feel like maybe was for people who fell off, maybe I was surprised. There's a guy at the same mic that I went to called Dawson's Coffee. One of the early times, like first times I ever went, and I did perform the first time I went. So you know, I didn't like oh, come to watch, come next time. Like I came and I tried, and it didn't do the best, but I kept, you know, if I felt like I had some kind of affinity for it, or
for your first time there, yeah, sure,
yeah. So right. So there's a guy named I won't say his name, but there's a guy who I noticed was really funny in a way that I thought was kind of maybe a little subversive, or just maybe went over some people's heads. It was also just really silly, so it's easy to kind of to vibe with. And he one time made me laugh so hard that like everybody was laughing at the laughter of just him and I. We were laughing at each other's laugh. Like, it was like really absurd. It was funny, and but you know, it's not like I kept up that much with him directly. We were friends on Facebook, and I didn't notice much of what he was posting until like the pandemic era. And at that point, he was posting a lot of like super kind of grotesque QAnon type stuff.
Really?
And it was like, yeah, it was like really like, yikes, dude. Like, and it was like really got really racist and like not just undertones, but just kind of like
overtones,
blatant overtones, racist overtones. And I'm just like, I think I blocked him or something because it was just, I was kind of shocked. It was loony, and you know, it's Florida, so like, you know, maybe that has an influence on people.
It's good to just operate from the baseline of everyone is thinking that in Florida, thinking those things.
Right. Yeah. No, there's a lot of people near and dear to me too who are in Florida. I've lived in Florida. I've lived in Florida, but here we are. And then the last one was like who's like sort of blown up or whatever. There's a guy named Nick Pupo who you may or may not have heard of. I don't expect you to have heard of him at this point, but he's a guy that I really I admire him as a comedian. He's a really good person. You know, he's really friendly and one of the most sincere people in comedy that I've ever met. And he's also someone that I'm so overjoyed every time I hear that he's about his continued success. Yeah. He started at the same open mic in Orlando, Austin's Coffee, and he you know, I don't know the specific trajectory, but at some point auditioned, got roles in like commercials and cool. You know, small things on TV, and then eventually he had a role on Halt and Catch Fire, which was a show on AMC. It was like the one of like the really well produced shows that no one really ever not as many people heard of compared to The Walking Dead or Breaking Bad or Mad Men. But
still, that's no small feat. Good for him.
Yeah, it was on par with those shows. And the last thing I was going to say about him is that he just he's been in a couple movies now, probably a few. But he just got cast in the new Bob Dylan movie that has Timothée Chalamet in it. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's like people are talking about that movie, and I think that'll be the movie where you know it'll be easy for him to get cast in a lot of other things and more closer to like the main role. And I don't know. I feel like he's gonna. I'm very sure he's going to be a household name at some point. Like I'm pretty sure. Like of all the people I've met, like he's really got that. That's that right combination from long ago of like he's been at it. He's doing all these things. He's already where he's at. Mm-hmm. And he's always been like, again, the most sincere and that's got to
be so cool to watch unfold. You've met this person, you started at the same place as them, and given
more or less he's before. Oh, he's a little older than me, so he's
before you, but still, you know, you've seen where they've come from, not necessarily when they began, but where they began from. Seeing the trajectory, seeing what's possible, in whatever trajectory you want to take. It's really cool for me. The people I've met, and then I see them interacting with celebrities and people. It always blows my mind. I'm like, because before I got into any of this, it was just that seemed so far and out of reach. But it's like, oh my God, I'm like one person away from this other person, and it really is just a matter of putting in the work and being recognized and being asked to perform on bigger shows.
It's a lot of legwork.
A lot of legwork. I mean, and we just go until we can't any longer, or at least I do. I feel like I've taken a break this weekend, but it's back at it this week, and every week after, just nonstop hitting the fucking grind. I was going to ask about your artwork in particular. That seems like something that you've developed over, I'm sure, a much longer, more dedicated time, right?
Yeah, I would say more dedicated. It's something I identify more closely with. I'd say, like, I am pretty extroverted and very social, and I can get a lot of energy from socializing, but it's like that's only one half of me, and it doesn't necessarily help or energize this part of me, the creative part of me, in the traditional like sense of 2D media, or media, art, physical media, it's visual media, and I'm so this is as long as I can remember. I've been drawing. As a baby, my mom let me hold pencils and scribble on whatever, and I kind of just fell in more into doing cartoons and cartooning. Not that I don't have an interest in developing in other areas, because I love drawing portraits, and I do enjoy using watercolors every now and then. It's been a while actually since I've messed with
portraits and stuff.
Right. Well, with portrait, I'd say I've drawn a fair amount of like studies of faces, like pretty often. Not like every day or even every week, but I come around to it fairly often, because I'm always looking at faces and different things for studying to come up with characters, original character designs. So I don't like to just fully base things out of like just from my imagination. If the idea is linked to something real, which it usually is, then I'm gonna look up some reference that can.
No problem with that.
Yeah, I can inform the.
I kind of do that passively, just listening to things. When I write music, I'll have an idea in mind, and I'll be borrowing from themes I really enjoy or that I have enjoyed lately, even subconsciously. So I imagine it's very much the same with drawing things. I mean, the vision or the image has to come from somewhere. It's not developed in a vacuum usually, and even if it is, you're still borrowing subconsciously from things that you've enjoyed in your life.
Yeah, it's unavoidable, because like you don't know, nothing comes out of thin air,
No,
nothing comes completely out of thin air.
Now, what's this all about? Can you explain this?
Oh yeah, that's me as this character
as Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, pretty much. They never caught me. They never found me for that. I brought down a whole city.
You did.
And I shot this guy who had a talk show. Just
on
like,
live television. You shot.
Yeah, he was so rude
Robert
to
De
me.
Niro.
He was so rude to me.
There you go. And the little person in the hotel room or whatever.
No one's supposed to know about that. No one else is supposed to know. I don't know how you know about that.
Okay.
I'm kidding. So what happened there was this was actually during 2020 elections and also the gubernatorial race in Delaware. I was making these, like, I wasn't running for governor or anything, but I wanted to encourage people through mostly Facebook to get out and vote, whichever, really, whatever they want to vote, but just to encourage people to vote, hopefully in favor of Carney, who I voted for, but it's really, it was really just to remind people that the elections were happening. And I came up with this character named Mickey Marvel, and I had just kind of more, let's say, just like New York City-esque type persona, and basically like a washed-up Carney clown, not even a proper circus clown, but like a carnival clown. And I'm retired and stuff, but I have like a super PAC called Carney's Against Carney. So I was making a video against Carney, but really to encourage people to vote for Carney.
I see.
So that's, and it was, I just did it for
psychology.
Fun. No one paid me to do it. I just did it for fun. It was nothing.
He's a good man.
No, when I first found you on Instagram, after Lorenzo introduced me to you, I was scrolling through and I saw this amazing artwork. And for the longest time, you didn't have any pictures of yourself other than those. And so I thought, I was like, is this some sort of meta?
I was like, that last one's new.
Commentary or, this one up top is new. Yeah, but I mean, not to say that
like a second ago
there's anything wrong with that, but I just thought it was fascinating that you were like clowning on yourself for the only two photos.
That's funny. Right, yeah, that was for a while. Those were my only ones. So it's like, but
inspiring activism. I mean, go you. You really, that's outstanding. I did a similar thing in high school, and that has been wiped from the internet. We made a whole video, like a voting drive video.
I wish I could. Oh, nice. Yeah. So the same type of thing.
Yeah, pretty much, except it was like school sponsored, and we had like merch and shit.
Did they pay for it?
They paid for it, yeah.
Oh shit!
Nice.
Oh shit!
I keep scrolling. I want to see how far you.
Oh yeah.
I at this point, I actually care more about. I'll tell you just a tidbit of what I'm doing now, because I don't want to like rant about some shit that's not finished.
Please.
But so these are tarot. Actually, these are tarot cards. I made a deck of tarot cards.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's a whole deck, 78 cards. I designed them all, and I sold a number of them. Just mostly for fun. It's not like I profited too much from them because they're expensive to print. Unless I do a huge bulk order, then that brings the cost down of each of them. But I didn't have like however many grand to
money to fucking
10,000.
Like,
this is La Reina. It's a card of motherhood, femininity, nurturing, and growth. It tells the querent that now is a good time to plant seeds and to nurture their creations if they expect them to grow. I've never. And
then the inscriptions were written by a good friend of mine named Kyle Davidson, known as Kyle the Tarot Guy.
Ooh.
And, he's the one who actually taught me how to just the order of the tarot and everything. So yeah, he's a private guy, but he does have a public thing, and I'll called Veil and Bone. I always say veal, but it's Veil and Bone, and it's they make witchy stuff that is really good to accompany and focus in meditation and rituals and stuff. So, but yeah, the tarot was this was a fun way to both explore the tarot and some links between that and other icons that have become popular in Mexican culture through a game called Loteria. And Loteria is basically it's like bingo but with pictures. And the origin of Loteria and the tarot and traditional card games, 52 playing cards, they're all linked from around this time in the Renaissance. They basically, came out of the same area in Italy. Yeah, that's that. And currently, I'm working on a comic that'll be more a bit more engaging, because deck of tarot cards is neat to have, but like I want to tell some stories, and that's I've always been interested in comics, and I've made comics since I was a little kid, and then growing up, at different stages, like you'll probably see different short, sometimes one panel or multi-panel comics in here, but what I'm working on now is a full-length comic book. That's
is this your first one?
This is my first, going to be printed as a full book of comics. So of one comic, continuous comic. Yeah.
My friend makes comics. He gave me some tips back in the day because I have like comic ideas, but I have no clue. I don't have the skill to draw. So whenever I watch YouTube and teach myself how to draw, I'll finally be able to make my comics in like 50 years when I'm retired or gave up on life or some shit, and put effort towards that. But yeah, I was gonna ask, are you making any fucking comics? I'll buy your comics, bro. I'd buy a pack of those fucking tarot cards because I was like, that's a good gift idea. I know somebody that can read them. I can't read them,
cool.
so I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. But I know someone that can, and I was like, damn, that'd be a fucking great gift idea. They'd love that.
If I have some before any of that before Christmas, I'll let you know.
Because, look, you got my contact. I got to get your fucking number, bro, because your ass don't fucking look at Messenger. But you know what I'm saying?
I know. Yeah.
Come out the gate.
Yeah, actually, if you look at that one, that one, it was slow, but eventually, if you had left it on, you get to see these characters. As it says on the screen, it's an opening scene for a concept, like an animated concept. It wasn't like a full pilot or anything. It was just what I was able to patch together for an idea. It's called The Academy. This is not my idea. This was written by a guy named Sam Corey Rose with Nick Pupo. And I didn't know Sam Corey Rose. Nick Pupo was, obviously the connection that I had to the project, because I'd known him since I lived in Orlando or Winter Park, and he got in touch because they were looking for someone who could maybe animate the project, and this is just the opening scene. So they didn't end up doing anything with it as far as I'm aware, I'm sure they haven't because no one's been in touch. But
brunch? Man, I can.
I'll shut up so you can watch for a second.
Let's go have some brunch. Do they have any vegan options? There's this really good breakfast and lunch.
How long does something like this take for you?
Well, so from the time I started animating, this particular project, it was somewhere for the start, I'd say, was March, and then the end was somewhere in June, March.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say actually closer to 4 months. It wasn't this just the one scene, but
this is just a snippet from all the work.
Yeah, so the whole thing was maybe 7 minutes or something, and not all of it was fully animated. Some of it was. Some of it was the second half was, I'd say, mostly just kind of like a storyboard, but not really, a little so because at the very end I did animate some the characters' motions and their speech as well, and so it was somewhere between a storyboard and an animatic of
I gotta get some tips from you.
Concept. But it took me, I'd say 4 months. I was working at the time like I do now. I was a lot less busy with work, but I was still pretty busy because I had other things going on. But mostly, just managing, work on my own, and then doing that on my own too, because I wasn't it's not like I had a team help, but a team of people who I could bounce ideas off of, with animation. It was people who lived, who are comics, who contributed the basis for all of it, but none of them were visual artists or anything. So it came together with obviously the writing was the basis, and I did a storyboard that showed all of what I was going to animate essentially, and or at least bring into color, because it became towards the end like impossible to meet like a deadline. We were trying to get it to sometime in June to have like a polished thing to put into festivals, and I just didn't have enough time to do the whole thing, and I wasn't really getting paid, and there wasn't really like any written agreement of anything, so I was just I didn't fully drop the ball, but like I did I need more time and stuff, and I think they regrouped, and I think they got like an email because they sent some they reached out to whoever a connection they had, asking about if there's an interest in this sort of project, and there wasn't, and they kind of left it at that. And so for a little bit I was I put a lot into it, and there's a lot of hype from not Nick, but one of the guys that like, oh, this could be a big break kind of thing. And I was thinking like I might move to LA or whatever, and I was tired of like I wasn't fully appreciative of where I was at the time too, with like my business and stuff, and I wasn't making that much, and all that focus in general, but I was really focused on that animation, and when that was done and nothing was really coming of it, I decided to redirect my creative energies into making these like weird greeting cards. But out of that came an idea for what eventually evolved into the comic I'm working on now. So it's not really the same thing at all, but that at the end of that started a thread to where I am now, and now I'm like closer than ever to having this comic finished and
it's fully realized.
It's good. It's in its final iteration that's being developed, like with because there's a period in between where I'm like, I'll do an animated pilot of my own, and it was just too much, biting off too much and more than I could.
Because you're working like full time in the background, just
like I don't make really much money doing anything else. The first time I ever got paid doing comedy was 3 weeks ago at Dream Big.
I was there. Wow. I was there.
Yeah, Lorenzo was there. Yeah, I got $50 to be a host of a show, which I'm fine. I'll take it graciously. But that's all I've made doing comedy. Yeah. I've done other things for fun. Like I've interviewed. There's a friend of mine who had a humor magazine for a number of years, like in the early 2000s, to like the 2010s, like mid 2010, like 2012, 2017, some shit like that. Like it came out every other month. There was a new issue, and it's called The Annual. So that was kind of like the joke. It was called The Annual, but it came out not like kind of all the time. Every 2 months. And I illustrated all the covers. I did some comics in there. I also interviewed different comedians and humorists who worked in some form or another in like comedy or humor. So, like for example, I spoke to Brad Sherwood and Colin Mockery, who they've been on Whose Line Is It Anyway? Ron Funches is a really funny comedian. That was a good interview. Rich Fulcher, another great guy. He was in the Mighty Boosh, and he's in other stuff. One of the bigger names that maybe who he's kind of fallen a little out of grace, but Justin Roiland, who's co-creator and the voices of Rick and Morty. Yeah, that was a fun conversation, to be honest. And a bunch of others.
You sweep him under the rug, but Ron Funches, I'd put Ron at the top.
Oh, Ron is the best. Yeah. No, Ron Funches was by far the friendliest person I've ever fucking spoken to on the phone. He was great.
Justin's.
Justin, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we can do that. That's correct.
So, you've probably heard this before, but have you thought of like making merch, like shirts or some shit?
I've not really like that. That's a good idea.
You should.
I'm not entirely sure what the context, because like basically right now I'm like my heart and soul is kind of mostly going into like a lot. To be fair, I do give a lot of myself to help friends with their projects and to help kind of like be part of that first ignition.
Are you familiar with a guy on YouTube named Meat Canyon?
Oh, he's very funny. I love him. I honestly like just him talking more than the animation sometimes, but he's incredibly talented. He's the Disney of that grotesque.
Well, but that's the thing, though, is you could do a very similar thing. You could sort of encompass all your comedy endeavors in some sort of web medium, right? And then sell products to your audience that you make on your own spare time, and he usually attaches some sort of merchandise with each one of his animations, but he also just makes shit for fun on the side to hand out too.
I'd even help. It'll force me to learn how to do something, so you know what I'm saying?
I'll let y'all be that's that will be in touch and stuff, so that's interesting. I'll give that some thought. Basically where I've been at with it is because like life tends to be the thing that the priorities of life are whatever life dictates. Sometimes you have your vision or whatever, and get like 80-90% of the way there throughout the year.
But your ability, hey, what you got to understand is your ability to tap into something much larger than what you're doing now is, I mean, it's well within your grasp. I mean, what you're working with just on your Instagram alone is remarkable.
Oh, well, thanks. I barely even post these days on it, but so like just a brief just some brief story to history. I don't know. Whenever I talk on these sorts of things, I actually do come from the perspective more of like, this is information that'll be valuable more later than now. I don't know why, but that's how I feel about information on podcasts. And that's a whole other rabbit hole. But we don't have too much time, but there's a kind of a couple of beginnings to this thing that's happening right now with Mooncat Comedy and Dream Big Venues, with the kind of comedy scene of the Eastern Shore that's got this sort of little vortex in Delaware, let's just say, because there's many other venues and bigger venues and other comics who don't even really haven't interacted too much yet with Dream Big, but there is something of what like kind of a scene happening there, and it is a proper venue now unto itself that they're selling shows every weekend, and they can technically call themselves the only comedy club, a straight comedy club on the Eastern Shore, because that's their the primary focus. But the very beginning of the kind of the inspiration that led to that was in a garage. It all started in a garage. I'm sorry to be watching Nathan for you. There's a guy named Sky who graciously allowed this guy Tom Sherman to start a group called Mooncat Comedy in his garage in Milton, Delaware. I wasn't part of that first wave, but there's a number of comics who were, including Dan Bell, who started this Dream Big Venues. He's one of the very first comics in that group. It went through a couple of their iterations, like at the Milton Theater was like the second wave of it. And that's where I met them, because I was organizing a open mic. It was like music and comedy and poetry that I was hosting. And then we crossed over and we all got to know each other because they had their own show. And that's when I started getting back into comedy, because I moved back to Delaware. There was nothing really going on, no open mics. It was maybe 5-6 years from when I moved back to when I was able to do comedy again on in front of people. And then Mooncat made it like a regular thing for me to be able to do comedy. And then the same for other people who maybe don't acknowledge it, but they really there's a lot of comedians who started comedy in this region because of Mooncat Comedy. That was like the first mic they went to, or the first mic that they could go to regularly because they lived there. And but they probably won't to acknowledge it as much. Anyway,
but still humble beginnings, and it's so cool. Just like we were talking about before, with seeing people, sort of skyrocket on their own paths to success, seeing where they've come from and where they are now. I mean, we are all bearing witness to the beginning of what will be, I imagine, a staple in your area as far as comedy.
So hopefully, if anything, it's just another wave that's leading to maybe an even greater influx of or interest in comedy and influx of performers.
I've been to it, and everyone who's been through that I've talked to after has said that it's a great room and that you guys are doing great work there. And just keep it up.
Good.
It's only going to grow. It
is
only up from here. And hey, and you'll start more open mics, more free events. You'll get, word of mouth will travel further and further still, and sky's the limit.
Yeah, that's all Dan Bell and RJ Jackson. They're the ones running the operation.
Hell yeah. Well, so we are approaching an hour here. We will wrap it up shortly. I just wanted to ask real quick about your what we haven't really discussed that I only learned recently, and I hinted at it when I sang a little bit when someone said summertime. What is your what's your involvement with music and with jazz in particular?
Just existing in chance, I guess. Because I never got really into this, like the study of music. I didn't know much about anything about music other than growing up as a kid, hearing what my parents were into, and then stumbling, like recognizing early on that I loved classical music. And then I listened to a bunch of John Williams and Danny Elfman on Kazaa or whatever, downloaded shit like that. And eventually that just naturally led to finding more and more about jazz music and music from particularly like the big band and the swing era and then so like crazy. The crooners and stuff. I just love all that stuff. Frank Sinatra was the first, my uncle for singing Frank Sinatra at home, a karaoke party in Florida, like when I was in middle school or whatever. That was me, like my first oh shit, like Frank Sinatra. I want to sing like he's singing Frank Sinatra. And so I got into that. But now I don't love. I mean, Frank Sinatra's not my favorite. I make a joke even saying he's a fucking asshole. He's a bad person. And actually, his name wasn't even Frank. His name was Francis Albert Sinatra. What a fucking loser, right? I'm kidding. That's nice.
Fucking loser Sinatra. That was his real name. First, last.
I'm sorry, no, but
that's why
the pipeline though. The pipeline is crazy to me. Like listening to scores, I was the same way. I would love to listen to John Williams, like Indiana Jones, the Superman theme, Jurassic Park, all of it, Star Wars, obviously, all of it. And Danny Elfman, the Batman 1989 score, all the cool Spider-Man, all the superhero movies he's done. It's all great.
Spider-Man was good. Yeah, that one. It's a lot harder to find the theme, but it's in there. It's in the.
Yeah.
I could be like Kim Peek. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then but then it was the same for me. Somehow I stumbled into like big band music. And from then I was playing trumpet and like in middle school and high school band and stuff. So once I stumbled into jazz music through listening to like scores, then I took jazz band, and then I went down the route of like listening to like trios and like little club setting bands and things, and that's when I took like a even darker turn into jazz. And it is dark because nobody enjoys it ever.
I know, right?
You bring it up, and it's like it shuts everything down.
It's in so much of what everybody does enjoy, though. So it's like, how do you not enjoy it?
So how do you not like this?
Yeah.
So honestly.
Oh, go ahead.
I like orchestra stuff and like big bands. I think I only got into it in the past few years, honestly, and mostly like I'll look on YouTube, especially if I'm like cleaning or doing something for like a long period of time. I'll play like or sometimes at work, and I'll put like Nintendo orchestra or some shit like that. I like live music and instruments.
I was gonna say that too.
Love that.
Just like movie scoring, it was always video game scores too.
Movie scores. Whoever does the fucking Avengers shit, I like that shit a lot. I'm trying to think what else. There's a lot of shit that has like really good fucking movie. And I tell people, I'm like, the score is so fucking important. But like the Avengers shit, because I used to sometimes, I haven't done it in a while, but I used to watch like scenes a lot from like clips from like Endgame and shit, and just like the fucking music, the way that shit makes you feel. I'm like, this is a big part.
You might like this a lot. There's a game I just got into recently. It just came out. It's called Helldivers 2. Have you heard of this game?
Nah.
It's like a third-person shooter where your character is enlisted in the Super Earth military, and the point of the game is to invade other planets and wipe out the existing life forms in the name of managed democracy, spreading managed democracy. So
I think I've heard of this game. My friend Mario was playing.
So it's like a satire on like patriotism and hyper jingoist,
like Super Troopers almost.
Exactly, like Starship Troopers or Super whatever it is.
Or Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
So I say Super Trooper. That's the cop one.
It's like
what's that? Was there like two of those? There's one during Canada, and they're like, "What the fuck is kilometers?" And they change the sign and shit.
But if you listen, I might even just be able to pull up the initial trailer.
Helldivers.
They play this at the beginning of the game.
Trailers for this on TV even.
Yeah, so check this out. This music in the game, it's Avengers all the time, and it's so fucking awesome. Like, and you never get sick of it. It's repetitive themes, but somehow it works, you know? It works each and every time you hear it. But this is like the sort of advertisement for the game.
Super Earth, our home. Prosperity. Liberty. Hi there. Democracy. Our way of life. Oh, hello. But freedom doesn't come free. No! Sweet liberty! No!
Oh my god.
So I mean, obviously this is goofy. It's like a goofy introduction to the game.
Scenes
and the
like
overall
these
theme.
are happening all over the galaxy right now. You could be next. That is, unless you make the most important decision of your life. Prove to yourself that you have the strength and the courage to be free.
But this is the general theme right here.
Helldivers. Become part of an elite peacekeeping force. See exotic.
Just this song, every time it comes on, is fucking magnificent. Oh, definitely check it. It's a PlayStation 5 and PC exclusive, I want to say, but
so my thing is like,
yeah,
the guys with the guns was right there on the road, so like, why they ain't stop the fucking thing? You know what I'm saying?
it's a good question, yeah, for the trailer. But every time you drop into a planet or whatever's going on, you'll hear like this insane orchestra in the background, and it's there's something about it.
That's what makes you seem like a hero. No matter what you're doing, bro, you seem like a fucking hero.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's supposed to reinforce the fact
like the
that
Avengers almost.
Exactly.
You think that's what school shooters put their fucking AirPods in and play that shit while they're shooting?
That's exactly what it's trying to inspire. It's jokes like that, because the joke of the game is that these people are disposable. You start off each mission with like 20 plus lives, and you're not reviving your teammates. Your teammates die. And then to revive them, you call in a brand new person. So they're changing characters, genders constantly, because they're you're totally replaceable the entire game.
Yeah, holy fuck.
So hundreds of thousands and millions of people are killing themselves for this war.
Yeah. But it's Super Earth, so there's countless people. Like, it's totally fine.
Exactly.
Super Earth. Not just Earth.
I love propaganda music. Is the
oh my god,
just
bruh. what if, so you know how they're like propaganda in like the old wars and shit? What if for like the next war they got like dope ass commercials or some shit? And I don't mean like the U.S. Marines and the Army commercials that we used to see in high school. Like it's just a completely new, amazing fucking work of art. You know what I'm saying?
It really makes you want to join.
Yeah. Like it's like some really good shit. Like you rewatching it because it's like this is fantastic. It's like a Super Bowl commercial. That's how fucking good it is.
It's usually not that, but what it is like people will see an attack or some shit terrible that happens, and then it gets ultra broadcast everywhere, and it just takes like a little bit of
that patriotism.
A little bit of patriotism.
Yeah.
You think they'll fucking replay 9/11 over and over on a loop? Do you want this to happen again? Join now.
Well, that's what happened. I mean, truly, it was just like the iconography, and then boom, a little bit of emotional connection.
Never remember. No,
never. They never remembered. But you can.
Yeah.
Well, we're about done here. I really appreciate you joining us, David.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course, we'll pull up your Instagram. Follow David at Clock Comics on Instagram here, please.
Oh yeah, I want to say real quick.
Yes.
So I got a message from Todd Lanier after I posted that top picture.
Mm-hmm.
Top picture is actually a video of me, and I'm playing a Skyrim theme. That's me on piano. But the reason I'm mentioning that, because Todd Lanier messaged me. He's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I think he knew I played piano, keyboard. So he's like, he thought I was just like
just standing there like.
I just now learned that myself. What the fuck, yo? Wow. What the fuck is going on, bruh? Yo,
Jack of all trades.
That's what I'm saying, bruh. What the fuck is going on, bruh? What can't this man do? Hey, yo, I don't like this. I don't like this.
No, if you look, there's other videos. You can see me touching the keys in other videos.
Oh, okay.
If I knew you could play piano, I wouldn't have brought you on.
Gotta hide this guy. Keep him out of the public view.
Yo. God damn. Yo, this motherfucker, what doesn't he do, bruh? He fucking sings, he plays piano. What else do you play? Do you play more than piano?
No, I just started teaching myself like 3 years ago.
What the fuck? He does it all. He does it fucking all.
Well, we need to collaborate. We need to do something musical.
That would be fun.
And comedy related.
I'll send you some stuff that I like. Just
please. Hey, I right there with you. I'll send some stuff back. We'll trade.
Nice.
Comment in the videos if you want a song from the three of us. Comment in the videos if you want some fucking merch of fucking David drawings or some shit. Fucking comment.
You'll have to let us know. We're putting money down on this, so we need to know that there's an interest. But what you need to know is the advice Lorenzo imparts upon the audience at the end of each show. We do a segment where he advises you on something that may or may not be related to anything we talked about. It's becoming less and less related to what we speak about, but let's try and keep it on message. Do you have anything for us? Here you are with the advice. Yes,
I mean, first off, look, you know what I'm saying? As David said, he taught himself pianos. He started teaching himself like 3 years ago. He wanted to do that, which means that if you want to do something, you could do it no matter how many skills you have. I know people, they're like, let's say they could draw, and they're like, damn, I wish I could sing. Well, it's like everybody has their own natural talents, but it's like, fucking teach yourself how to do that shit. Like I said, I want to make comics. I can't draw yet. I'm a fucking, when I have the time, and I stopped being a little piece of shit.
You really can't. We just played Pictionary. I think we covered that. And boy, oh boy. We had the same prompt. You weren't there for it, but I had Wishing Well for Pictionary. I had Wishing Well come up, and I drew what enough people guessed was a Wishing Well. I'm looking at Duncan behind me. He played with us. And then you had the same exact prompt. I was guessing shopping cart.
You said prison. I was like, yo.
I guess prison. This is what you did. depict it as what's supposed to be the same thing I did. But you'll get there. You'll get with practice, and you're starting now, and we'll see from start to finish where you started from, how much you improved by. Anything else? Anything related to arcades or
son? Holy shit! First off, my mind was blown because like I don't know. I just don't know that much about the one time I went to Mexico. I ain't go nowhere with fucking arcades and shit. And I feel like most Americans don't even think Mexico has arcades and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But y'all got like mad fucking dope shit, and it's like, you know, like damn, like in the laundromat too. We don't got shit like that in the fucking laundromat. Mexico's doing better than us. You know what I'm saying? Like, God, you know what I'm saying? And that's just to let people know, you know? That's just to let the people know.
They're getting into our country illegally to show us all the fun stuff.
They're trying to let us know. They're like, yo,
by any means necessary.
You think they want to come here with our fucking laundromats that don't have fucking Dance Revolution? Why would
Stop
they do
building
that?
a wall and start building a bridge for all of these amazing
Big
advents.
Well said. Well said.
I don't know where they came from.
Oh my God.
David, thank you so much for being here. Lorenzo, for the advice as always. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Notification bell, all that good jazz. We are out of here. Thank you for watching.
Deuces.
Deuces.